Today's story is Guest of Honor by Beautiful Nightmare. The frigid morning air bites at her bloody fingertips, while her mangled toes sink deep into the crunchy, hard snow. A shiver runs down her spine with every painful limp that she takes. Her raw, wounded lips part to scream for help, yet no sound escapes. There is not a soul in sight, no one to rescue her from the evil lurking in the distance. The frantic beating of her heart skips when the wind carries an unnatural sound into her line of hearing. Branches of various sizes scratch her bruised, numb cheeks, stained with tears as she drags herself into the nearby tree line. Thorns claw at her bare, cold limbs. Twigs snap in different directions when rapid, light and heavy footsteps echo throughout the area, just as the girl leans against a tree, attempting to catch her breath. Low, inhumane growls seem to come from somewhere close, except she doesn't see anything as she glances around. One bloody handprint resides on the bark upon the girl pushing herself up. Her free hand covers her mouth as a warm liquid oozes out of her left, shattered kneecaps. Fragments of bone fall to the ground, causing her to cry out in pain. A loud gunshot causes the birds to scatter. She hastily pulls herself further into the tree, desperate to get out of that scary place and back home in her bed. The image of her girlfriend with an arrow sticking out of her throat flashes through the girl's mind upon hearing more frightening sounds. Her heart races faster, and for a brief second, she is able to hear someone whispering. Sharp, dagger-like teeth sink into her right ankle as she screams. She kicks at the creature despite the pain, in hopes of letting go, but it only holds on tighter. Fingernails dig into the hard, frozen ground as she tries to keep herself from dying in a horrible way like her girlfriend had. The girl looks over her shoulder when light, slow footsteps approach. Snowflakes fall down around her, just as a beautiful child's distorted face comes into view. Messy dark hair covers the one blue eye, while the brown one continues to stare. Her eyes widen upon seeing the young boy's plump red lips curl into an unsettling smile. He doesn't look entirely human. The boy giggles as he pokes at her injured ankle with a stick. Her whimpers of agony seem to make the child happy. He clamps a metal hook to the thing that captured her. She now realizes exactly what had gripped her: a bear trap. A tall, heavy-set man appears out of nowhere. He looks a lot like the child, so she assumes that they are father and son. The man pats his child on the shoulder, lowly growls some gibberish, and grabs a hold of the chain attached to the trap. Wicked, nerve-wracking laughter erupts in the darkness. The girl screams as loud as possible when she hears the sound of flesh being torn open. The father and his son leisurely travel the path she had taken. Her fight to survive is nearing the end. Her screams begin to fade away with the wind as the numbness gradually slithers throughout her body, helping her to relax as she leaves behind a bloody trail of bone fragments and ligaments. The girl's lifeless body grows colder, frostbite nipping at her fingertips, as the barely human people drag her out of the tree line, across the frozen pond, and down the wooden stairs of a cellar. Her body is carelessly thrown onto an old and cracked wooden table. The contorted man grabs a meat cleaver and quickly begins to cut her limbs apart. He has less than 3 hours to get her into the oven. He doesn't want his family to be without a Christmas dinner again this year. Red, blue, green, and orange lights glimmer against 2 large silver platters. Smaller glass bowls hold a decadent spread of goodies for each person to indulge. The man sits at the head of the table with a carving knife in one hand. As he glances down each side of the table, the smiles on his family member's face makes him happier than he's felt in a very long time. Living in the mountains and taking care of a family of 15 hasn't been easy. He happily slices that girl's juicy cooked meat into thin pieces. He thanks the heavens for sending the guests of honor onto his property. The family eagerly grabs at the different dishes sitting atop the table, smiling, laughing, and talking among themselves on this happy night. Each and every marinated piece of that girl and her girlfriend tastes sweeter than anything the family has had in so many long and miserable years. The guest of honor had taken her girlfriend on a small hiking trip to get away from the stress of their lives. However, she hadn't planned on getting lost in the mountains and being hunted down for a struggling and really hungry family to enjoy. The loss of the girls' lives meant that a handful of other people got to be happy, even if it was just for one night. And as always, Beautiful Nightmare knocks it out of the park with this creepy-ass story. Beautiful Nightmare, thank you for this one. For those who didn't catch me at the beginning, which, how did you miss that? This story was Guests of Honor by Beautiful Nightmare. Beautiful Nightmare is a good friend of mine and a fantastic author. Please do check her out on Twitter. I've linked it down in the description. That's right, I'm going to force people to follow you. Anyway, yeah, this was a good, creepy story. You write these really good stories about dismemberment. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little unsettling, but, you know, it's each their own. You're good at it, so keep going. Alright, anyways. If you enjoyed this story and would like more content like this, please do consider joining the Nevermore. To join the Nevermore, all you have to do is click that subscribe button and the bell icon next to it. You can also support the Nevermore by doing things like following me on Twitter, liking me on Facebook, joining my subreddit, or supporting me financially on Ko-fi and Patreon. Any one of these things will support the Nevermore and is always appreciated. There is also a link where you can submit your story to me if you have one that you would like me to read. Please take advantage of it, and I will feature your story on my channel. All that said, my lovely, lovely listeners, my fantastic friends, my lovely peoples, everyone out there that listens to this that hates me, loves me, despises me, or is neutral about me, I hope you have a fantastic day. I hope you're having a great weekend. And I hope your next week is damn good. All that said, we're almost done with June, and that's terrifying. See you on the next video, but until then, sleep well.